Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cartoon Boom. This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, plop down on the floor with a big bowl of chicories here and watch all your favorite cartoons, both old
and new.
I'm your rockin' and riding rodent, Joseph.
And I just can't stop sweating motor oil. My name's Chris.
And today we watched Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, I was real concerned about Grease Pit. I was like, he's a human, right?
That man's got a condition.
Yeah. Like sweating motor oil or something.
Yeah, I don't know what his thing's supposed to be, but yeah, he's just a dude that constantly sweats motor. Well, I don't know if it's sweat or if I guess it's that he's sweating it. I don't know. Motor oil's constantly coming out of his body, so.
Yeah, basically. Like, because we see it dripping off of him when he, like, I don't know, moves around, so it's not like it's
right.
stained on him.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't get stained.
Yeah, but I also wonder if Carbuncle is, I mean, he's an alien too, but do we ever see him without his, like, I don't know, human mask?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I don't know, because I don't think he's a Plutarkian, right?
I assumed he was. Because
I don't know.
The mice knew who he was, like, early on.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's obviously in cahoots with the Plutarkians, but I don't know that he's a Plutarkian himself. He seems like he's a human mad scientist that maybe the Plutarkians had on their payroll, but, like, he had to have been with them the whole time because he's the one that tortured them in the first place.
Right.
I'm so confused now. I need to brush up on my biker mice lore.
Yeah, we're a little rusty.
I'm so confused.
So the show Biker Mice from Mars aired in 1993, created by Rick Ungar, developed by Frank Ward, directed by Tom Todoranowicz. Ooh,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, produced by Brentwood Television Funnies, Worldwide Sports and Entertainment Inc., Marvel Productions, New World Animation, and Philippine Animation Studio. Ran for 3 seasons, 65 episodes. Originally on, well, it was a first-run syndication, so it was on multiple networks.
I didn't know that Marvel had any hand in this. That surprises me.
I know they did some comics of it, but it was like a real brief run.
Oh, okay.
So the show, Biker Mice from Mars, aired from 1993 to 1996. And for a short synopsis, when 3 alien motorcycle-riding mice are forced to leave their home planet of Mars thanks to the evil mining Plutarkians, they rebel against their enemies on planet Earth and the city of Chicago.
Yeah, that's true. Was it weird to you that they don't like cheese? Does that bug you?
I mean, they're aliens. I guess they can like what they want to, right?
Yeah, but like they're mice. They don't like cheese.
But they also have abs. I don't think most mice have abs.
That's true. There's so many 90s shows where they're just like, we really need more animals with abs. Why did that become such a thing, man?
Because they were trying to start the furry movement, and they succeeded.
Yeah, they did. And now I think they have regrets about it because I feel like they complain about it a lot, so I don't know.
What's really interesting is like how every action animal in the 90s just about was like super fit, but like a super fit animal. So it's just interesting. And they're even trying to like give them some sex appeal because like there was a point where I think it was Vinny's like bandolier kind of got blown off and you just see his bare chest. And it's like they are really throwing a lot of detail into that mouse's chest and abs.
Oh yeah. I think Vinny's chest is always exposed, isn't it?
Well, it's got the bandolier covering it, but I just mean like they were definitely focusing on it.
Yeah. They're just like, look at this mouse's rippling muscles.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but that's a mouse.
And then,
guys,
you got Charlie, who was constant, like that was their April.
That's a human, yeah,
right. And except they were always hitting on her, or at least Vinny was.
Oh, absolutely.
But I guess the others were too. I don't know. It was a whole thing.
She always rides on the back of Vinny's bike. Always.
Yeah. The last couple shows we've watched, like I was a little confused about who the leader was. To me, I always assumed Throttle was the leader, but I don't know that anyone really is in this show.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'm not quite sure either.
And as far as Centurions go from last week, I always assumed Ace was the leader, Ace McCloud, but the actual leader is Max Ray.
That's a good point. I think Throttle is supposed to be the leader, but I feel like Moto has just as much pull. Vinny's clearly clearly not a leader. Vinny's just Vinny.
Yeah, I don't know. Moto, I don't know if he has more pull or what, but I know at one point Greasepit like says he's the dumb one or something, so I'm not sure. It doesn't really come off that way though.
Yeah.
Unless it's talking about how obsessed he is with his motorcycle.
That's true.
So, who were some of the actors who played in this show?
So, you mentioned Throttle. Throttle was voiced by the very talented Rob Paulsen, which we talk about on this show all the time. And I did want to point out this voice is probably the biggest departure for Rob Paulsen. Like, this is the least Rob Paulsen sounding voice I think he's done.
Maybe in the later episodes, but in the first one, it was definitely Rob Paulsen.
Yeah, like, I think so. I think you're
he
right.
was just trying to find it at that point.
Yeah, but like most of it, he's talking a little bit more like this. He's a little bit more angsty, Rob Paulsen, than you usually get the high pitched sort of thing. So that was kind of interesting. Moto was voiced by Dorian Harewood, which we've heard this guy's voice before in a very sports related show that we covered a long time ago. He was the voice of Michael Jordan from Pro Stars. You remember that, Jim? Of a series we watched. That's good. The voice of Vinny was provided by Ian Ziering, was also the voice of Wild Wing from Mighty Ducks, the animated series, and Dr. Nick Tatopoulos from Godzilla, the series, which we did. I feel like we did it recently, but it's actually been months now. It's been quite a while. He's also the character of Finn Shepard in all of the Sharknado movies, so you can put a face to it there. The voice of Charlie was provided by Lisa Miller McGee. The voice of Greasepit was Brad Garrett, another fellow we talk about quite a bit, also famous for, television sitcoms like Everybody Loves Raymond. The voice of Lawrence Limburger was provided by William Morgan Shepard. And finally, the voice of Dr. Carbuncle was provided by Susan Silo, which that surprised me. Like, I wasn't quite sure if it was a woman or a man doing the voice for a while, because it was has that sort of like Starscream sort of vibe to it, of the like, it's so raspy, it's hard to really figure out what's going on, at times.
Yeah, it was really raspy and like wheezy. It was great.
Yeah.
Like the voice fit him so well.
It was a really good one. And she's usually known for doing those really, really, I don't know. She's usually like an annoying voice character, Like, was she Mona from Toxic Crusaders, I think? I feel like she was.
Oh, I thought that was Kath Soucie.
That could be Kath Soucie. I get these two mixed up sometimes, but they have very similar ranges as far as their vocals and stuff.
Good at doing the either really annoying or really like, I guess, sensual voices of cartoon characters, or apparently really raspy ones. So yeah, but that was a really good voice. Like, I didn't know who it was at first either, but I was really impressed by it.
I liked it. I think that was actually kind of a standout character from the entire show, to be honest.
Voice-wise, definitely.
Yeah.
And for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Bike Marks from Mars cereal, the British cartoon Avenger Penguins, which premiered the same year as is a counterpart of Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, that cartoon is about 3 bike-riding penguins that protect Big City and its citizens from the evil, insane, and reclusive scientist known as Caractacus P. Doom.
What?
That sounds terrible. Right. Avenger Penguins.
Avenger Penguin. Okay, that is something I got to file away in my brain for later, because now I need to know more about Avenger Penguins. Do they ever cross over? Like, I need to see them cross over.
And I wonder if they're riding motorcycles or just actual bikes.
Yeah, what did it just say? They ride bikes?
It just said bikes in the description here. Riding? Yeah, but I don't. But it's also Biker Mice from Mars, so they could mean motorbikes. I don't know. Anyway, many of the main actors on Beverly Hills 90210 did guest spots on this show. I can't name specifically who, but apparently that's true. The Biker Mice from Mars returned to television in 2006. The 2006 Biker Mice from Mars series is a continuation of the story, which gives more airtime to another character, General Stoker, who I don't know if we even saw in the ones we watched.
No, we didn't see them at all in the 3 that we watched.
Well, apparently the newer series more focused on them.
That's interesting because usually I would have guessed that would have been just a reboot, like a whole new reimagining of the property. But it's just a continuation, which that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely an interesting departure, but it was only one season, so I don't know.
So not good.
Well, I can't say.
Right.
It could have been canceled for any reason, so we'll have to follow up on that. Marvel Comics, like I was talking about earlier, published a 3-issue series in the early 1990s. A 4th issue was solicited on the reader's page. Marvel UK published its own series. The whole American series and portions of the British series were published in Germany, also by Marvel UK, in 7 magazine-sized issues from 1994 to 1995. So there are at least, I don't know, I guess the 3 US ones and then some UK ones as well out there. I've not read any Biker Mice from Mars comics, nor have I seen them, but I'd be curious to check them out.
Yeah, me too. And that boggles my mind a little bit that they did separate series in 2 countries that speak the same language, you know?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they also, I'm surprised they didn't just do their Avenger Penguins over there in the UK.
Yeah. Oh, I want to see maybe they'll cross over in those comics, though, if they don't in the show.
If IDW gets a hold of them, they will.
Yeah, I like that idea.
4 different video games were released, 2 for this show and 2 for its 2006 follow-up. My favorite, obviously, being the Super Nintendo one from 1994, which I still enjoy to this day.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that in our other show, the Nerd Sloth podcast, not that long ago. We were talking about the racing game.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, shameless plug there. Go listen to it. Go listen to our new show.
And if you want an idea of why that game's so great, you're in a 3/4 view and it's kind of over the top of racing, but you've also got, in a similar to Mario Kart way, you've got your own powers you can use. Carbuncles is my favorite because he turns people into Fred the Mutant, and so they kind of just lag behind for a little bit and start stumbling around. It's really funny.
Oh, that's great.
So let's start talking about the episodes we watched for today's show. The first one being Rock and Ride, Season 1, Episode 1. After their planet Mars is taken by humanoid fish aliens Plutarkians to plunder its resources, 3 warrior biker mice, Throttle, Moto, and Vinny, escape to Chicago, Earth. Like there's any other Chicago.
That just sounds funny. Yeah.
But Plutarkians masked as businessmen are already plundering it. So it's just kind of coincidental. The biker mice didn't come to save us. They just got shot out of the sky.
Yeah, they just landed here and they're like, dang it, they're here too? This sucks.
Because, the Plutarkians are just not business savvy, but they're just mining planets for their resources.
Yeah, they're fracking.
They're like Galactus, except on a much smaller scale, just mining the resources out of a planet until it's just basically desert, and then leaving and going on to the next planet. So Earth was their next target, and that's where the biker mice just end up landing because they get shot out of the sky by a different, unrelated Plutarkian.
Right, and the one guy's already there, and he's like a mayor. Is he supposed to be the mayor of Chicago, or is he just a really renowned businessman? Because it seems like he pulls a lot of weight in that town.
Yeah, I thought he was the mayor, but if you're putting me on the spot, I'm not positive.
I am. I'm shining the spotlight right into your eyes.
Okay, he's not the mayor. He is Chicago's leading industrialist. So he's just a rich businessman.
So he's a Howard Hughes type of Chicago.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is just where it's our setup episode, of course. So they crash land. We get to meet all the new all the characters. So this is where they get introduced to Charlie because they're looking for a place to repair their bikes, and there just happens to be a bike shop there, the Last Chance Garage, in which Charlie is the, I guess, owner of, or the only person who works there, and she's being harassed by Grease Pit at this point, who is Limburger's lackey, his primary lackey.
Yeah. Can we discuss I want to discuss the personalities of our 3 mice-keteers. Yeah, I did that. And Charlie real quick. Because they have pretty distinct personalities for the most part. But I want to save, out of the mice, I want to save Throttle for last. And there's a reason why. So let's start with Vinny, because I think he's the easiest. Because Vinny is chaos. He's a big goofball. He's silly, doesn't take a lot seriously. And, he's the Michelangelo, if we want to go down that trope. He's just very silly.
If Michelangelo was also a thrill-seeking daredevil as well.
Yeah, there we go. So that's Vinny in a nutshell, basically. And also hits on Charlie the most. So a little bit of a womanizer in a way. So, and then you got Moto, who is the more, I don't know, a little bit more stoic, a little more serious, quicker to anger, probably the strongest out of the three, I'd say, it seems.
Yeah, he's like the gentle giant type.
Yeah.
But so he's usually like a nice and calm like figure until like his bike is brought into the picture or threatened. That's when his eye turns red and he's just like, I guess, powers up, has some kind of crazy power up. I don't know what that is. It's happening to him, but he goes into like rage mode, kind of.
Yeah, he would like to rage. Yeah, he goes crazy, gets real mad, gets stronger. So then I wanted to save Throttle for last because I feel like Throttle suffers a little bit, and this is just my personal opinion. I wanted to hear yours, but I felt like Throttle suffers a little bit from that. This is the straight man, like supposed to be leader guy, and we don't know what to do with him sort of thing. Like he's kind of like the quiet, cool guy, I guess. But in that, like, I feel like I don't know. A lot of times I feel like they don't know what they're doing with him.
I guess he's the most like level-headed of the bunch. He's supposed to be the straight man, but he's often like lured into their antics anyway. So he ends up having like no sway whatsoever on the other two.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was like thinking is just kind of, it's like Moto and Vinny's personalities are so big that even though Throttle, I think, honestly is supposed to be positioned to be this leader, he kind of just ends up going with whatever the other two like have going on. And he'll say like a quippy under his breath sort of line, and he'll be at the forefront of whatever's happening. Like if they're going into battle, he'll be the first one in. But I just feel like his personality isn't nearly as fleshed out as the other two, at least from what we saw.
Yeah, I would agree. Like he doesn't have a very distinct personality. Unlike the other two,
but he's cool. He's quite cool.
And I will also add that all three of them, being part of that Plutarkian war on Mars, have lost portions of their bodies and have had them replaced with bionic implants or robotic implants of some sort. So Moto lost one of his eyes, so he wears an eye patch, but then he lost his right arm, so that is replaced by this cool metal arm which has lasers in it, of course. And Vinny lost half his face, apparently. So he has a metal plate on one side of his face. And then Throttle lost his eyes in the battle. And so he has like bionic eyes, but apparently they're malfunctioning. So he has to wear these glasses. So that's his excuse for wearing these sunglasses all the time. It's not to be cool. It's just because he has to wear them. It's like a Cyclops thing. He's got to wear his goggle or his red glasses.
But is he for real though? Like, you know, is he... does he really just want to be cool though? Like, what if he didn't? Like, his buddies are like, oh yeah, I lost half my face. And he's like, yeah, I lost my arm and an eye. And Throttle's like, oh, dang, man, I didn't lose any. Yeah, I lost both eyes.
That's why I got these sunglasses.
Yeah, these cool shades. I got these Oakleys on. I lost both of them. Well, how do you see? Well, I mean...
The sunglasses are like my eyes. Yeah.
I got new eyes. Let me see them. No, they're malfunctioning right now. They don't work right now. I got to keep these sunglasses.
I think he legitimately does have a problem, but, you know, who am I to say?
Yeah, who knows?
He did lose his eyes.
What about Charlie? What do you think of Charlie?
Charlie,
I like Charlie.
I mean, she's the tough, like, no nonsense girl in the series, except that she's also played off as like a figure for the male gaze, I guess you could say. Like,
yeah, that does happen quite a bit.
And the male
The
gaze,
mouse gaze.
the mouse gaze, yeah, they do comment on her. I mean, basically, they might as well be doing like a construction worker whistle at her. At
Yeah,
times.
it does happen quite a bit. Even in the episodes we watched, it happens a couple times. I like her personality in that she's a lot more rough around the edges and spunkier than a lot of other characters of her ilk from this sort of genre from that time period, you know, like because she's kind of rough and tumble too, and she can kind of put up with them, and she's better at them than fixing their own stuff, and I like that. I like that. A lot of the times, even though they do have to save her in this first episode, she honestly saves them quite often and is usually helping them out. And I think that that's pretty cool. Like a lot of times they would not succeed without her help. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of like that about this show.
Yeah. So she's like April, but a little more useful.
Yeah. Like if April was able to actually like help fight and do other things.
Yeah. Not just get taken captive. Right.
Exactly. She's not the damsel in distress of the show.
At least not all the time, yeah.
Not all the time, just in this episode. So yeah.
Yeah, those are the main characters. And you've got Grease Pit, who's the primary henchman of Limburger, who, like we said at the top of the show, is just sweating oil, I guess. It's constantly covered in. I've never seen him repair anything or be involved in any kind of oil maintenance at all. So it just is on his body. And then Carbuncle's a mad scientist, possibly human, unknown origins. And then you've got Limburger, who's the leader, who's dressed up as, you know, this portly human industrialist guy with the big purple suit. And but he's actually like a green fish lizard man.
I always wanted that toy because I remember the toy and that the human head, or I don't remember if it's you could swap the heads or the face could come off and then the fish head was under it. But
I think you could swap the heads with him. I had the Carbuncle toy, and that came with Fred the Mutant too. And you could fold Fred the Mutant's face down, and his brain was exposed. So it's kind of a cool toy.
So that's one thing that I really liked was there is a reoccurring joke in this thing, which is Fred, where in every episode, like Carbuncle's experimenting on Fred. And like in one episode, like he pretty much just dies, I think. I'm not sure. We'll get there, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, there are a couple things that are recurring in this show. Like it seems like Limburger's home base, his building gets destroyed like every episode, just about. And then so does Fred because Carbuncle will always have like a new sort of, I don't know, experiment. And then he'll test it on Fred first to show what it does. And Fred loves it. Like he's asking for it. He just wants more.
Yeah, he has a great time. He's always so super happy and laughing, even when he gets like obliterated for some reason.
He's basically like, I assume Rob Paulson voiced him as well because he sounds very like Pinky-ish. Okay.
Yeah, you did. I mean, this episode kind of plays out exactly as you expect, except for the main weapon that gets used against the biker mice here is that Carbuncle created basically the Terminator on a motorcycle to fight back, like a robot. I mean, the Terminator was a robot, so I mean, that tracks. This was the Exterminator.
Right.
And I mean, does everything. He looks like him, says the lines, everything.
Yeah, if that wasn't close enough, it's like a knockoff Arnold. And yeah, even has the I'll be back thing.
Yeah, at the very end when he dies, I'll be back.
I was really hoping he was going to give the thumbs up as he was melting in that.
I was waiting for it too, because he does. When he goes away, he lands in a vat of something and sinks down into it and says, I'll be back. And I was waiting for the thumb up or something, but we didn't get it. But I was just like you, dude. I was sitting there like, are they? No.
Yeah. Maybe he got cut or something. Maybe they're like, I don't know. This is too close now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's essentially what happens is, you know, it's being introduced to the whole setup and the formula of the show, which is that Carbuncle creates some sort of weapon for Limburger to use against them while Grease Pit harasses them or Charlie. And Charlie does some sort of tuning up of their bikes or themselves to help them have an upper hand in the battle that inevitably happens, and then all is saved.
Yeah, so a pretty typical first episode, but with more comedic moments than I was expecting, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to say the pacing was pretty rough in this one, though. Did you notice that? Like, there was a lot of, like, during some of the action scenes in this one specifically, like in the street when they're fighting, I believe it was, I don't remember if it was when they were first encountering Grease Pit or if it was when they were going up against Exterminator. There was a lot of just super fast edits where it felt like the scene hadn't even finished playing out and it cut to another scene. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I was getting whiplash watching it.
Yeah, the Exterminator portion was interesting because it was like, there wasn't even a plan. It was just like,
no,
hey, we're going to make you drive into this factory. They didn't even know it was in there, but there happened to be a ramp set up that goes right into that like pit of acid or whatever it was.
That's serendipity, my friend.
Like super convenient, but it's like that cut together. So I had to like rewind it because I was like, did they put that up there? Like, how did that get there? But there's no explanation. They just drives up there and it's over. So they really just need just a way to end it. But I think like...
yeah, basically. They're just like, I don't know.
Like the way that they played him in, like he should have just had his own episode. Like it seemed like they tried to cram a lot into this, including because they already had the mousetrap thing. So it's like, why try to have like so many plot points all in the first episode?
Yeah, they fit a bunch. Fit a bunch in there, which makes me wonder if it should have been, or if maybe the original intention was a two-parter. Like a lot of the 90s shows always started out as a two-part first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, nope, can't do it. So then they spliced it all down, edited it down to one. So it felt extremely busy.
Yeah, that would make more sense, to be honest.
Yeah, I do think that the Exterminator comes back in another episode, though. Because I saw another episode title that I'm pretty sure said, or had the name Exterminator in it. So
he wasn't lying when he said he would be back.
He is back.
All right, so the second episode we watched for today's show was A Mouse and His Motorcycle, season 1, episode 5, which was the highest rated. Limburger hatches a plan to use a toxic substance to help take Chicago's dirt, but he needs Moto's bike for that plan to succeed. Moto getting dipped in said toxic substance puts a slight dent in the biker mice's effort to get his bike back.
I want to say real quick, nothing about this episode made any sense. It didn't.
It was ridiculous.
They could have had the I don't know, like he could have had the biker mice dead to rights in this, and then he was just like, nah, we'll just take his bike. They could have taken him out right there, but they didn't. I don't know. Whatever. So one of the reoccurring jokes that I like is how Carbuncle always calls Limburger something different, like your cheesiest
like your
or something.
Cheesiness. Yeah.
Yeah. So my favorite was this one where he called him your Wisconsin's finest. And that one got a real chuckle out of me for sure. Like I loved that one. That was good, especially in that voice that he has. That was so funny.
Yeah, there was a lot of this. It was like almost feeling Toxic Crusader-ish to me.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of the show, like it feels a lot like that. It feels very similar. And that it kind of makes fun of itself a lot.
Yeah, maybe not to that extreme, but it's definitely a lot more self-aware than I would have expected it to be.
Yeah, it's very self-aware. In fact, in the first episode, when Charlie and the mice meet for the first time, she's just like, what are you, hamsters? And they're like, mice. And she's like, mice? And Moto literally says, you were expecting turtles, maybe?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, they are not hiding anything. Like they're just straight up being like acknowledging, yeah, we know Ninja Turtles exist. We know we're making this show. We know that there's going to be comparisons. Whatever. We don't care. I mean, they just went for it.
Yeah, there's even a spot where they mention Brad Garrett by name.
They did. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I think it's in the next episode, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, telling a joke or something. And, or Greasebait was trying to tell a joke and they say like, guy's a real comedian. Yeah. Regular Brad Garrett. And yeah, Brad is the voice of Greasebait. So it's just great. That's a nice meta moment.
Yeah. But yeah, they were going very, very self-aware for this. And I think Toxic Crusaders is probably the most self-aware 90s cartoon I can think of.
Off the top of my head, yeah.
At least in the genre of like 90s action hero cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's other like slapstick style cartoons out there that are probably much more like Animaniacs or something. But as far as this genre goes, Toxic Crusaders takes the cake. But this one's pretty close, it feels like. But yeah, so getting back to like the plot of this thing and what I was talking about earlier. So yeah, they set up this kind of like trap for the mice. And the goal, again, was to steal Moto's bike specifically. Well, I guess, was it really Moto's bike or just one of the bikes that they wanted? I think it was just he wanted one bike.
Yeah, I guess he just needed one of their bikes and just happened to be Moto's.
Yeah, because then he could understand, one, more how to defeat them, and he could use the bike for his own means. But and this is the thing that really bugged me about this episode, though, is that he gets that that chemical on Moto, which makes him super weak, and Moto can't do anything. He can't fight back. Vinny and Throttle got trapped in this like metal box where the sides are slowly moving in like it's going to crush them. Like they could have just, instead of taking the time to just take the bike, they could have just finished off the mice right there. They could have had it done, but they took too much time.
Yeah, but it's classic supervillain stuff. And that I think is like also kind of it being very self-aware of what it is. And so it feels more forgivable for something like this to play out in a show like this than it would if it took itself too seriously.
Yeah, I believe it was Charlie was the one that ended up helping free the others. Because literally, like, Carbuncle is just like sitting like right behind a tree operating this machine that's crushing the other two. So, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, he does steal the bike, though, and gets a hold of it. And now, one thing that I had forgotten about the show from a kid is that, like, their motorcycles can act independently of them. It's almost like they are like almost like AI, but not quite. It's because it's based on their own personalities in a way.
Right. But they're almost like adaptive AI in the sense that they do kind of gather their personalities from their owners. So
yes,
if Moto doesn't like a certain type of music, which is what happens to be in this case, then that's going to be the bike's weakness as well. So Limburger pulls out a boombox and starts playing polka, and which is like the antithesis to rock, apparently. And so the bike's like it's almost like kryptonite to it. It's like getting weaker because of it. And just starts kind of firing wildly to try to destroy it. It succeeds, but not before it uses up so much energy that it just passes out from that fierce battle with polka.
What music genre is your kryptonite? Like, which one makes you feel weak and wanna just give up and die?
I don't know if any make me want to die in particular, but rap music would probably be my kryptonite just because I don't get it.
Okay, sure. It's country for me. Like I would fall to my knees and weep, you know, if I were in chains and being forced to listen to it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm from Texas, so I'm just used to it.
I don't like pop music. I think it's maybe pop, to be honest.
Pop? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pop music. So anyway, yeah, so they have to not only nurse Moto back to health, but then they have to free his bike somehow, which, again, like I was saying, like Charlie really is kind of like the VIP of this group, which is surprising because she's not one of the biker mice, but she basically helps come up with the plan and how they're going to pull this whole thing off by building or basically what did she like souped up something for Vinny so that he could get in there and destroy this device that Limburger was using. And then once they were able to then have the bike free itself, essentially, the bike just started blasting its way out of the building. So
yeah, it was like she built a supercharger for his bike that would explode. Like it would help him like go like super fast, but it would explode after 30 seconds. So he's on a timer, and Vinny is loving this.
He was so excited. That cracked me up.
Throttle called him a wild man, and Moto questioned like how he's lived this long, because he's just like pumped over the fact that he's on a timer and he's going to go super fast and it's going to explode after. Like, has no qualms with it.
Yeah, he's like, you mean I could blow up if I don't do this? Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And they're like,
Even while he's in the process of doing it, he looks down at the timer. It's got like 18 seconds left. He's like, oh yeah. Like,
he's
like
so
he's so
excited.
excited about it counting down. But he succeeds at like making his way through Limburger's building and going up to the roof. And as they free Moto's bike, he is like, it starts, he gives it the opportunity to fight back on its own, because it's basically like this battle is hers, like his bike's.
Yeah, let it have its revenge.
And so the bike fights back, and I guess like forces Limburger and Carbuncle to jump out the window. And then like the building falls on them. Like I said, his building gets destroyed. Down. Yeah, like every episode. And so in this one, they pull it down, and it falls on them. And that is pretty much it. So, there's also this toxic goo that is being spread around. We talked about the toxic goo a little bit, but the idea of it is that the toxic goo will just destroy whatever kind of like bionic stuff it's on, like, or grass or anything, whatever kind of material it's on, it'll just destroy it, like acid in a way.
Yeah, over time.
But there is also a cure for it, or just a formula that reverses it that they have. So Limburger's idea is to put this all over like the park or whatever to make it seem like it's being destroyed. And then he'll offer up as like the industrialist the equipment to help fix the park and get rid of this, so that he can gain more popularity and be able to obtain more land, I guess, or something, or trust of the people.
Yeah, and I think it was like while he's in there, he's gonna like tear up that land too, and like, you know, take some of the resources out while he's in there. Because
something like that.
Yeah. So, but, you know, biker mice get a hold of that cure themselves, spray it after they destroy his building, and they fix it instead. So there you go.
All's well that ends well. And that takes us to the third episode we watched for today's show, Cycle Centaurs, Season 2, Episode 33. This was chosen by you, and I'm so glad it was.
Yeah, I chose it based on, like, I saw the name, and I was like, that sounds great. And then I read it, and I'm like, this is the dumbest premise I could think of. I love this. This is going to happen.
Yeah, so in this one, Limburger produces villains using DNA from the mice and combines it with material from their bikes, making mouse motorcycle-like centaurs called Cycletars. And technically, they're not mice at that point. They're rats. But if you know what a centaur looks like, imagine that, but its top half, instead of being human or whatever, is a rat, and then the bottom half is a motorcycle instead of a horse.
Wait, you got it slightly wrong. A rat with abs on top.
Oh yeah, strong rat, of course.
Strong rat on top with abs, motorcycle on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, it's as ridiculous as it sounds, but they actually looked pretty cool, surprisingly.
They did.
Like, I was expecting them to look a lot dumber than they did. I'll say that.
Yeah, they looked pretty cool. They looked pretty menacing, which was great. I was just wondering, though, like, if he took the DNA from the mice themselves, which he did, because they got cut, and that's how he got it. How did he end up with rats?
Maybe it was Carbuncle's fingernails that he threw in there.
I don't know. Like, there's something didn't work right, you know? Like, they goofed it somehow, but whatever. They looked really cool.
Yeah. So. It would have been worse if they were mice, so it's for the better. So the big plan in this one, the ridiculous plan in this one is Limburger is building a water slide park, and the idea is to get it to produce acid rain by poisoning the clouds essentially in that water park, and then having acid destroy everything but flesh, basically. So destroy buildings and everything in the area.
Which is weird, because we see it happen a little bit, and like we don't see any of the buildings get destroyed, but you see cars and like street lights melt like immediately.
Yeah, and then it cuts away from it for a long time, and I'm thinking, like, is acid rain still happening? No one's really talking about it or too concerned about it.
Right. we don't really see a resolution to that part, you know?
Except that they destroy the machine that's producing it, and that's it. But we don't see like the aftermath.
A lot of damage was already done.
Yeah.
So I don't know, whatever. But I mean, it takes a while for the Cyclotars to get created, but once they're there, I mean, that's the meat and potatoes. That's the fun stuff. Is like when they show up, and they're better than the biker mice at motorcycle battle. Because I guess because they don't have legs and they're attached to the motorcycle. I don't know, but they're beating the snot out of them, and the biker mice have to retreat. So that was fun. But there's this other like side plot that made this one of the best episodes ever. The side plot being that because they were able to defeat the biker mice and make them retreat, Limburger is just like, hey, I'm going to fire all my other henchmen. So he fires Grease Pit and all Grease Pit's lackeys.
Yeah.
And like, so Grease Pit goes to a temp agency and he's trying to get a job. And like his conversation with this woman at the temp agency is hilarious.
Yeah.
And all of the references he makes to other TV shows is crazy. He talks about how he used to work for Skeletor.
Right.
And he used to change diapers for the Smurfs. I'm like, what? What? This doesn't make any sense.
Also, like the temp agent was asking like if he got paid for his prior like henchmaning or whatever, his thug work. And he's like, well, it was more like child labor or working for Fox. So it's pretty good.
Oh, man. It's ridiculous. But like, seriously, that as much as I love the Cyclotars, like that part, because that stuff kept happening. And that was some of the best parts of this episode.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes back full circle towards the end. Oh, my God. It's funny.
Oh, yeah. And they have their organization called Lout, which is Limburger Organization Unfair to Thugs. So it's Grease Pit and Thugs just picketing against him.
Yeah.
And like the biker mice drive up to stop Limburger, and he's about to stop them. And he's like, oh, wait, that's not my job anymore. And so they just like, keep picketing instead. Yeah.
They're just like, they're just like picketing for like the entire, like, you know, how there's always the last battle in an episode like this is always like that 5 or such and such minute thing. The entire time this final battle takes place, you can see Grease Pit and the others every once in a while just walking in their circle, holding their signs, yelling stuff about Limburger being unfair and wanting benefits and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So the mice are able to finally beat the Cyclotars because they realize like, oh, we can separate ourselves from our bikes and they can't.
We can stand up.
Yeah. We have legs. And so they just go through just a series of events. It's like, okay, we're going to go through a really low underpass. We can get off our bikes and our bike will go under it, but the Cyclotars can't. So Cyclotar get like knocked off or sent to the side or whatever.
Exactly.
And then it's just all situations like that where it's like something will be like too low or too inconvenient for someone who's on a bike to do. And they set it up in a way where all the Cyclotars just get tossed to the side. Then they end up just quitting because they're just scared of the biker mice at that point. And so Limburger has to rehire his old thugs and they agree, or Grease Pit agrees, but he says like, we got to talk about raises, pension, benefits, and funny hat Friday or something.
Yeah. And I was like, my favorite was just like, for those of us with teeth want dental.
Yeah.
But the best part was like, then you see the Cyclotars at the temp agency and they're in like little business suits.
Yeah, they're top
like,
half. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, can you deliver a pizza in under 30 minutes?
In 30 minutes or less. Yeah.
That was like the big payoff for this was like seeing them in their business suits still on their motorcycles. Oh my God, at a temp agency. That's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how this wasn't the highest rated episode because this was gold. This one specifically is how every, like the other two, the first one was the second one was kind of a fun episode. This episode was amazing. And this is how all of the Biker Mice episodes should be. Like, this was so over the top and ridiculous. It was great.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our kids to Chicago to help the mice in their fight against the Plutarkians and maybe see if they can get one of those Centaurs to bring us a pizza. Then see what they thought of Biker Mice from Mars.
This cartoon was so rad! Aliens, motorcycles, explosions, and creepy fish monsters. I can't wait till the future when we're sending rockets to Mars, and then I can meet all the awesome mice up there.
This is the coolest show ever. Move over, Mickey. There are some new mice in town. They've got motorcycles and abs. I'm sure I'll be super fit, have a metal arm, wear sunglasses all the time, and ride a sweet bike one day too, right? Right?
Do you think NASA or like Elon Musk, do you think they're keeping it secret? Do you think they found the biker mice up there, you know?
And they're just keeping those ripped mice from us?
Yeah, they're keeping all those those mice with their big abs and muscles away from our eyes. Like, you know, he shot that car into space. Was that car for them, you know? Are they riding that car around Mars as we speak? I don't know, man.
I just feel like they're doing us a favor because people, like the human race at this point, just freak out over even regular looking animals. I can't imagine like super ripped animals. Like I've seen so many like posts and stuff on what is that? Okay, which one is that cop rabbit? Do you remember who I'm talking about? Like the
cop
animated
rabbit?
Yeah, like she's a cop.
Oh, from Zootopia.
Zootopia, yeah. I have seen so many posts about her.
Yeah.
So we could barely handle her. There's no way we can handle a ripped mouse. No way.
That's a real good point. Like if it ever turned out like if actual ripped mice showed up on Earth, like they would need protections that our planet is not going to be able to guarantee, you know? And it's not going to be like protections from like danger, like, you know, like violence. They're going to need a very special kind of protection from all the perverts out there, you know? So.
Yeah. Judy Hopps. That's who I was thinking of. Judy Hopps.
Judy Hopps. Oh, that's kind of cute. What a cute name.
It's a good movie. Anyway.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
But basically, we can't. This is why we can't have nice things because of the freaks out there.
Yeah.
So what did you think of this show overall?
It's got some really, really fun ideas. It leans real hard on the 90s anthropomorphic action heroes in a real fun tongue-in-cheek way. Sometimes maybe it leans in so hard that it sacrifices a little bit of other things. Like we were talking about earlier, there's definitely spots where I can tell the editing was just so abrupt. It felt like they were just powering through action sequences, which made for just a lot of jarring kind of moments. But I do like how the characters feel like they have a lot of story to them as compared to other shows of the same genre. Like even back with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, which I love. So like, you know, the story it was great there. And all the personalities of the different turtles were different, but they could all crack the same style of jokes and you wouldn't question it. Here, at least you've got three defined and refined personalities. And I know that I harped on Throttle a little bit, but between the three of them, like they wouldn't be doing the same things, telling the same jokes. Like you kind of get a feel for how each of them are going to be. My gripe with Throttle is that he just doesn't do much, but he's still somewhat set apart from the others. And one thing I really like too, that I think is interesting, is there is quite a dark backstory behind all this that makes it even more intriguing, especially when you consider like how goofy these episodes can get. And especially when you have characters like like Vinny, who is just always so over the top and silly and, you know, just such a joy to watch. But I mean, they are, you know, war survivors that lost their home and, you know, lost limbs and all kinds of stuff. So it's honestly pretty dark when you really, really think about it. So I think that it honestly has more depth than people would give credit to it on like the surface, just looking at it, because it looks ridiculous. It seems ridiculous, but there's actually quite a bit of thought put into it, I think. So overall, I'm going to give Biker Mice from Mars 4 bowls of Cyclotar cereal out of 5.
As an obvious knockoff of Ninja Turtles, just like so many of the other ones at the time, like this one actually holds up pretty well. It doesn't take itself as seriously as I really went in expecting it to. I hadn't seen this since I was a kid, so I was fully expecting it to be like almost Mutant League level of like hyper serious. And even though the source material is, they play with it to the point where it's like you kind of forget that these mice are maybe the last of their species that was destroyed by the Plutarkians.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, because they're just having so much fun with it. So you forget that they are just like war-torn heroes who are displaced from their now vacant planet. Like, that's really dark, but they make up for that with how much fun they're having with the show itself, just with the ridiculous idea of it being Biker Mice from Mars. It's like they knew what they had and they were not trying to like beat around the bush with that at all. Like, they were like, we know this is crazy and a little weird, so we're going to just play right into it. And they did so well. That level of goofy humor that's baked into this show, I absolutely appreciate, combined with a little bit of 90s too, but not enough to make it where it's unbearable. Plus, like, I had these toys as a kid, and I have spoken a ton on various channels about my appreciation for that Super Nintendo game. So there's a soft spot in my heart for these buff alien mice. So all that said, I'd give Biker Mice from Mars 4 big bowls of Happy Melted Fred cereal out of 5, and I'm probably going to check out that 2006 reboot to see how that one compares.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in that as well. I saw some of the art from it, and it looks pretty clean. Like, I like the designs of it and everything. So yeah, pretty interested. Especially what really piques my interest is knowing that it wasn't a reboot and that it's a continuation. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what that's all about.
What was the show that we reviewed that did something similar where they just like picked up, was it the Jetsons? Do you remember where it's like they had a season, then it stopped, and then just picked up with like another season of the continuation, but it was like 10 years later or something.
I think it was even longer than that. It might have been 15 to 20 years later. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it might have been Jetsons.
Yeah, that's kind of what that feels like. But probably like, I'm sure they changed a lot about it, but it's supposedly a follow-up. So we'll see.
That's cool. I'm excited.
All right. So Chris, thanks for suggesting this one because
you're welcome.
It was really fun jumping back into this world.
You're so welcome.
Well, it's great because like I found like a new appreciation for it. I liked it before and even in my nostalgia, but now that I see the actual like I guess humor to it that adults can appreciate, I'm like, okay, now I really like it. In the same way that what Toxic Crusaders did for me when we rewatched that, it's like, oh, this is good on so many levels. So yeah, exactly. I found a new appreciation for these mice.
Yeah, I did too. So I was really excited that we jumped into this one. And now I am going to have to fall down a rabbit hole of looking up all the toys online.
A mouse
and
hole.
trying to remember them. And when you say mouse hole, it sounds gross. So I don't want to say it.
Yeah, I don't know what like the best version of these toys are, but now I need Biker Mice from Mars toys and Centurion toys. Like, as we talk about these things, like they have the best toys.
Oh yeah, there we go. Who was real quick though? I just out of curiosity, and then we can move on. But with this show, who was your favorite character?
I mean, I feel like Vinny was most people's favorite character, right? Like he was mine, but mostly because his bike was just so cool. He had the Akira bike.
That's true. Yeah, I just liked him because he was funny.
Oh, well, that too.
But I just love him because he really is just chaos incarnate. I love that about him.
Yeah, so. He is nuts. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And next week, we'll be watching
Star Wars Visions, suggested again by us.
Yay, man, it's so good. Star Wars Visions. For anybody who hasn't watched it, I'm going to try to cherry pick some really good episodes.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Okay, great. I'm going to try to cherry pick some really good episodes because
pick my cherries.
There's no first episode technically. I mean, there is, but since it's an anthology, like you can watch it in whatever order. So I'm going to find my favorites and bring them to the show.
Okay, do it. I double dog dare you.
I'm gonna. I already said, you don't have to dare me. I literally said I was going to do it.
Do it, coward.
Okay, you got me. I'll do it.
All right, fine.
All right. Well, once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.